The next resin test we're going to do is M58 and Anti Impact. Now, both of these have anti-dust properties in it, so dusting should not be any issue with this mix. I love Anti-Impact because it's impact resistant, has a good feel to it, has some flex to it. M58, it's not impact impact resistant. There's zero movement to it. Small thin parts will absolutely break, and that's one of the downfalls of this particular resin. It's good for your thicker stuff, but for the Star Wars community, this one needs some help. And so hopefully adding the anti-impact to it, we'll get a nice happy medium where it's semi-flexible. This should be more flexible than the M58, but less flexible than the anti-impact. And we shouldn't really have much of issues, so I'm really interested on how this one's going to turn out. Right. Let's get our test. What is your two bodies? I'll explain in a moment. Alright. Let's zoom in some here. Gonna help my camera out. Alright. So we have the validation matrix. So let's see how this guy does. There's definitely some flex to it, which is nice. Okay? Good. Post-cured part. There is some flex to it, but it's very rigid. So there we go. We got one bend. Two bends, still no cracks. And broke on the third one. So there is some flex to it. Not a lot, but that's fine. Because when you're doing models and you want stuff to stand, probably don't want it to fall over on itself. Okay, so why the two bodies? This one's going to suffer the same issues that, what was it? I think it was K and TH72 did. Or, no, Anti-Impact and K and Anti-Impact TH72, I believe. The validation was on point. Like, you really can't get a better validation than what I had. So I verified the settings. However, in printing, we have a lot of lines and a lot of layer separation. So that's going to tell me is as you increase and as you're printing your models, I'm going to say increase the exposure by a half a second if you end up using this mix to help eliminate and allow these layers to bond. I increased this one 0.25. It got better, but it was definitely still there. We can see it on the back, right there. We can see it on the front, right there. So something to keep in mind. It's all over the print, honestly. It's kind of everywhere. On the arms and stuff, so I'm happy with the stuff that I got that printed just fine. But that's just something to kind of keep a note on. If you do use this mix, you're going to have to do some more fine tuning in your print settings. Alright, Mr. Happy, I like the feet. So let's get these feet in. That feels good. It also feels good. Let's get an ankle going. Even with the lines, this resin skin, I'm going to call it, it is very smooth. And so that is what I'm assuming the anti-impact properties, or anti-dusting properties that you're feeling when you mix them. This guy. There we go. Like good. Let's do an iron. Goes in. Arm's good, snaps in place. Ooh, it even clicks. So that's good. Means we're getting great rotation, great properties there. Part of the design is having actually, it has faces, so those faces are actually clicking so that it will hold the pose but still be kind of limp. But yeah, it's definitely clicking into each spot, so that's something that I haven't noticed on like the first 4 tests. So that's sweet. Yeah, this is awesome. The model feels very rigid. It feels like if I was to continue assembling and gluing everything, gluing joints in place, I'm not going to have an issue with this model, which is good, which is exactly what we want. So this one would just need some more fine-tuning beyond having a good validation matrix, maybe slowing lift speeds down. Who knows? It's anyone's guess, really. So, on to the next.